So by the time you're viewing this, it'll be afternoon. So I'm going to say good afternoon. What we're going to do today is we're going to solve nonlinear inequalities using sign charts. This is a really important skill to have for those of you who are headed off towards calculus and for those of you who want to pass the next quiz. First thing we're going to do is we're going to determine if x equals 2 is a solution to x squared minus 1 is greater than 0. This is a really easy thing to do. All we need to do is take the x that's 2, put it in here, and see if it's true. So let's check that out. So we're just going to go right here. We're going to do 2 squared minus 1 is greater than 0, and we're going to see if that's true. So 4 minus 1 is greater than 0, maybe. 3 is greater than 0. Yes, that's true. Therefore, 2 is a solution. 2 is a solution. So we actually have a small studio audience with us today. Eric and Logan, that seems simple enough? Great. I'll take that as a yes, that was simple enough.
That was really simple.
Okay, good. The next thing we're going to do is finding critical numbers. Also an important calculus thing for us to be able to do, again for those who are taking calculus. Critical numbers are the numbers that divide up this function into several pieces, and they are where the function is equal to 0. So, in order for us to find out where this is equal to 0, we just set it equal to 0 and solve, as we have done so many times in the past. So again, we're just setting this equal to 0, and we have x plus 4, x plus 3, negative 4, and negative 3. So our critical numbers are negative 4 and negative 3. Very simple. You've done this many times before. We just have a new term for it. They're called critical numbers. The places where our function is equal to 0. And it's a place that divides the function into different parts. Members of our studio audience, doing okay still?
Doing great.
Doing great, they say. Thank you, Carly. Okay, so now we're going to get a chance to find our critical numbers, and the last part of our objective there is to use sign charts. So this is going to be our first opportunity to make a sign chart. So first thing we want to do is we want to set this equal to 0, just like we had over here. So we're going to have x squared minus 25 is less than or equal to 0. We will factor so that we can find our critical numbers. And so we all know that this is x minus 5 and x plus 5 because we see the difference of squares pattern. We find our critical numbers, which are 5 and negative 5. And here's where we make our first sign chart. And our sign chart is really very simple. We just create a number line and we put our critical numbers right on the number line just like we would ordinarily. The negative 5 is to the left, positive 5 is to the right. And then over here we put the two factors. This is going to be an easy problem for us. In a few moments we're going to have some more challenging problems. And we're just going to, as I said, make a sign chart. And so we have several boxes in our sign chart that we're going to fill in a really simple way. Sign charts look a little intimidating, but they're not bad at all. So this first box here, we're going to use a test value. We're going to find a number that is to the left of negative 5, such as negative 6. So we're going to put negative 6 in here. So negative 6 subtract 5 is negative 11, so that is negative. We don't care what the number is, we just need to know about the value or the sign. Because we're dealing with sign charts, all we need is the sign. Still working with a number to the left of negative 5, such as negative 6. We put negative 6 in here. Negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. That is also negative. And we are multiplying these two factors together. So a negative times a negative is a positive. So the first part of our sign chart is positive. And we're going to talk in a minute about how to get the answer that we need out of our sign chart. But we need to complete the sign chart. So, I've learned from a friend of mine that this may be a good time for us to pause. So what I'd like you to do is take a moment, all by your lonesomes, to fill in the rest of the sign chart. And I'm going to fill that in, and we're going to pause right now while you do that. And then when we come back, you'll see the completed sign chart.